Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Area 51, the Super Speedway series with the NextGen car here on Sunday nights at Green, White, Checkered TV. I will be your host for this evening, Boomer Logan. Some of you who are regulars here at Area 51 and Greenway Checker TV should know who I am. Normally covering the redacted open wheel car series on Tuesday nights, which we unfortunately are no longer able to broadcast. But we're here now on Sunday nights, so I'll be taking over running some of the shows here on Sunday with our rotating crew of broadcasters with Gael and the rest of the guys. We'll have Matt Wagner joining us here in just a second. He'll be my co-chair for this evening, but we've got 75 laps here tonight at the Atlanta Motor Speedway underway. The fresh, new, repaved super speedway-like track. I'm very excited that we added this to the schedule for this season. This is going to be an absolute blast, in my opinion. Obviously, a lot of people had great feelings for the old Atlanta Motor Speedway, and the old style of the old surface and really rough tire wear, hard to manage tires. But it's something new, it's something fun and exciting. Obviously, hate to see the old Atlanta go, but I think it's kind of cool to see what they've done here to try and make it a little bit different. I was actually there in this past June, so I actually got to see the pavement, the fresh pavement myself. So it's really cool to see the high banks here. Definitely, extremely high banked compared to any 1.5 mile that NASCAR has on the circuit. So we're going to see how it races tonight for our Next Gen series. We've done a couple races in the off season for practice events just to see how it's going to go, see how the cars are going to race, and they decided that it's going to be good enough to put on a show and add it to the regular schedule here. So last week we were at Daytona, though, for our first race of the season for our 12-week schedule, the first season one, if you will, of 2023. We saw Kevin Freese take the checkered flag at Daytona, just edging out second place Brian Wang, who led most of the laps last week. So obviously not much to talk about yet for championships or point standings, but Kevin Freese does lead the way there with that race win and 7 bonus points over the field. So he's got a little bit of an advantage, but it's still super early. Obviously, we can start talking about playoffs eventually. We got a couple more races, quite a few more races to get through before we get there, but it's going to be fun. Yeah, we got 8 races in the regular season, as it were, before we get into our chase, where the top 12 drivers will then be competing in the final 4 races to win the championship. And it looks like we'll be doing Daytona International Speedway, Atlanta Motor Speedway, Talladega Super Speedway, and iRacing Super Speedway back to back to back for the 4-race rotation of this season. So should be an absolute blast. 75 laps at every track, and it looks like we are just finishing up with qualifying here. So we are going to get you that grid information. Grabbing the pole is not necessarily a surprise. That number 88 machine of Gabe Butler with Seth Groover to his outside in that O2 machine. Jim Brooks rounds out the inside of the second row with Eric Laurie to his outside. Ryan Decker and Bud Steele on the third row. Robert Jordan and Richard Sanchez make up the fourth row for this evening, with Zachary Workman and Nick Monfretti rounding out the top 10. In 11th, we will have Derek Gilray with Edwin Outlaw starting in 12th. And we'll go back one more row here. We've got our broadcast partner, Gael Brooks, electing to not take a time, so he will start in the lucky number 13 position just after Friday the 13th a couple days ago, and Brandon Briggs to finish out our starting grid. So should be an absolute blast tonight. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing these guys take to the grid and get rolling this evening.
Playoffs? You want to talk about playoffs this early?
We got a little ways to go. There's only 7 more races before the playoffs. Obviously we're only after tonight we'll be a quarter of the way through the regular season. So you never know. It's still early, but you never know.
It's yeah, you're right. It's too early to tell. We shall see. We'll see about your most dominant cars here. Probably be Gabe and. Pretty surprised I wouldn't see the 18 pull off a big old W here today. That'll be my pick. Yeah, let's make my pick for today. It'll be the 18 of Zach
Zachary Workman,
Workman. Mm-hmm.
18 there in that beautiful Instacart sponsored Toyota. Nice looking paint scheme they got there tonight. A lot of guys with some really great looking cars. We've got a field of about 14, as we mentioned, from the grid. And yeah, making their way up onto the oval to start the race. So this is the first time we've actually run here, as far as I understand, on Sunday nights in actual league race setting. How do you think this new track is going to go based on some of the practice races that have already been done before the season started?
So it's going to be a little different from these guys. They're used to Daytona, Talladega, but this is an actual, let's say, oval track. Tire wear will be a factor here. Just got to make sure you really don't want to burn your right front tire, right rear tire here. It's going to take a little bit more than just pushing here. It's going to take a little bit of skill.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see, especially in the future, if this track ever wears away to the point where they can't go full throttle around the track, acting like a super speedway track. But that doesn't matter for now. We've got fresh pavement, and we've got a field of 14 cars ready to take to the green flag, with Gabe Butler leading them underway as they throw the green flag for the start of our 75-lap event for the evening. Going to be a pretty quiet start here, I would expect. I guess I don't really know how much you're going to see that third lane kind of developing early. I mean, this track is the same width as Daytona, so I'm assuming that it's probably going to race fairly similar to that. As we get a little bit of a stack up there on the inside lane.
That high line is going to be very fast, and it's going to really chew up your right front tire. So look at these guys probably use the top lane early, but as soon as the run goes on, these guys will probably dive to the bottom of the racetrack.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that works out. We're kind of 2x2x2 here, except for the O2, who has broken away by himself there. A little bit of a stack up you saw back there. Derek Gilray was getting out of line there just a little bit, but he's picked up Brandon Briggs and our buddy Guy L. Brooks with him right now, so they're kind of in a pack by themselves. We do have Edwin Outlaw here. He's about 3.5 seconds off the back of the pack, so not sure exactly what happened there, but he's going to have a little bit of work to do to catch up to our leaders, who now will be the 071 of Eric Laurie at the front of the field.
Yeah, those boys are going to have to run the top lane really extremely hard to try to catch those boys. I'll be watching last. It looks like they caught a little bit of a draft here, but we'll see what happens. See if they can catch up.
Yeah, we'll see. Definitely the inside lane strong so far. But I tell you what, if there's a guy that's going to make that outside lane work, that's that guy in that O2 machine, that bright green machine outside there. That's Seth Groover. He absolutely loves running the high side no matter what kind of super speedway series we run here at Area 51. So look for him to be holding it high, wide, and handsome as he tries to make that something happen, as the inside line's been pretty dominant so far here to start the race. Eric Laurie still with a few laps led here at the front of the pack, with his teammate of Gabe Butler just behind him. We have Richard Sanchez, Jim Brooks, and Robert Jordan rounding out our top 5 currently, with Nick Monfretti, Seth Groover, Zachary Workman, Bud Steele, and Ryan Decker rounding out the top 10. Looks like the top 5 or so have broken away. Seth Groover still working hard on that outside lane, trying to make something happen, but definitely the momentum so far to that inside lane as Richard Sanchez tries to take a look to the outside and thinks better of it, ducks right back in down behind Gabe Butler. And I know, so Team Bootnaka, typically they would run Chevys, and I see that Eric Laurie is running a Chevy, but I've heard that Gabe Butler runs a Ford for specific reasons.
Yeah, I will explain that to you. Very, very simple. If you look, I'm not sure if you can get a camera on one of the Fords out there. You look at the shape of the nose on the Ford. It is very flat. It's not as pointy as the Chevy or the Toyota. But if you were to push with the Toyota, it's like really pointy. If you look at the 61, it's really sticks out. But the Ford, it's really flat. It's very, very easy to push with the Ford.
So there you go. That's why Gabe Butler in that 88 machine varying from the normal Team Chevy mantra at Team Bootnaka, but it's all in the effort of pushing a teammate to the win. You can see that pointed nose on Eric Laurie's Camaro. Gabe Butler with that fairly flat nose as he's pushing the crap out of his teammate all the way down into turn number 3. And then you
Well,
can see we pulled up the 61 here. See that nose on the Camry, not quite as flat as the Ford. But go ahead.
no, I was just pointing out. We'll get a little bit of conflict between the 74 and the 18. Just a little transition of the track here. Like I said, these guys are going to start feeling the tire wear after a while when you sit in the draft.
Yeah, it's crazy to think, especially on a freshly paved surface and with super speedway racing, that you're going to have tire wear. But we see that a little bit at Daytona too.
Yes.
Not nearly as much at Talladega, but definitely after a while it does take a little bit of the handling out of the car on a long run.
Yeah, that is true. Like remember when we had freshly repaved Michigan? If you watch the telecast on that one, and I think it was Fox. Was it Fox? I can't remember what it was. But anyway, the tire wear was going all the way down to the cords because it was a freshly repaved surface, and it was just abusing those tires. But we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. We're clicking off the laps pretty quickly here. Running under 30 seconds is just about the entire field still. Definitely a very fast pack at a fairly small racetrack, again, for Super Speedway style racing. We've got 11 laps here in the books of 75. What are you looking for in a fuel number to try and get to maybe 2 stops or 1 stop? What's that look like tonight?
Oh, man. I wouldn't know numbers offhand because we haven't ran here before.
That's true, yeah.
And that's the honest truth. But I think they would have like a 10-gallon cell. Probably more likely about 25 to about 30 laps here.
Okay. Yeah, because I think I know. Well, at least for the truck series, it's typically around 19 to 20 laps or so at Daytona, and obviously it's a different car and a different track. Ooh, a little bit of a wall there from the number 10 of Bud Steele. Thankfully,
That was
he's
Ryan
next.
Decker.
I thought it was Bud Steele. Yeah, that was Bud Steele.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
My apologies.
Yeah.
My apologies.
No, you're good. See if we can see if he's got any damage there on that.
See,
Ooh, get a little wide again.
these cars are starting to take off up the track a little bit more. As you see the 29 of Nick Manfredi, that tire wear, you guys got to hold it down there and just make the best of it. That draft will actually really hurt the handling of the race car here, so we'll see.
Playing with some new cameras here, so please bear with me, but couldn't quite find. Looks like the side of that car isn't too bad, but definitely a little bit of contact there for the 10, and I think maybe even the 61 at one point too, but have to keep an eye on that as these guys get a little more squirrely. I mean, really, we're still pretty much single file. The 02 of Seth Groover's really, and Bud Steele of the 10 are pretty much the only ones working on the outside. As soon as I say that, Seth Groover makes a liar out of me, but he does try to jump back out with Robert Jordan there on that outside lane, see if he can make something happen there, but pretty quiet overall. 15 laps in the books. Maybe at some point later in the race we'll have to pull up our friend Gael Brooks, friend of the broadcast, and see if he can give us some insight into the race, but for now we'll let him ride. And him, so Derek Gilray and Gael and Brandon Briggs are just kind of hanging out back here, running by themselves. They're a little bit slower than that lead pack, so they're losing a little bit of time there now. They're about 5.2 seconds behind Bud Steele, and Edwin Outlaw all by himself, no help, is unfortunately about almost 28 seconds behind the pack. So if we look here, he's probably just right in front of our leaders, so he's probably about to get lapped. See if we can get a good view of that here. Go on the roof cam of our leaders. As you can see, heading into turn number 1, that 12 is going to have no help whatsoever, unfortunately, without the draft, but hopefully he can pick up this lead pack, and he will be the first car 1 lap down, eligible for the lucky dog if a caution were to come out. Ooh, right in front of the leader. Wow.
Yeah,
Gets down on the apron. That was way too close.
That apron or that transition between that apron there is
Treacherous,
very,
apparently.
it's very dangerous. I've I've tried it in an IndyCar. Oh, there he goes for a spin. Well, no, he saves the
Wow,
car.
I cannot believe
Wow.
he saved that.
Yeah, that is no man's land. You definitely do not want to put like any of your two tires down there. It's
Yeah. Yeah, because that they raised the angle of the apron, but the angle of the track, obviously, the corners are more steeper banked than they used to be. So there's still a very tough transition there, way worse than it ever was before. There's a little bit
oh
of
yeah,
excitement there. Go ahead.
yeah, since the repave, it's now they added a little bit more banking between the banking and the bottom of the track. Now it's not as now it's more higher up now than it used to be. Now when these guys stick their left front or right rear, I'm sorry, left rear on the bottom of the track, they're definitely going to lose control of the car.
Yeah, for sure. They've got 28 degrees of banking here now at Atlanta Motor Speedway. I believe the old banking was somewhere around 24 degrees, if I'm not mistaken. But
Yes.
definitely a very aggressive angle and allows these cars to be wide open and gets that super speedway-like feel, even at a track that, I mean, don't mistake, this is 1 mile shorter than Daytona is, but it races fairly similarly, and it doesn't have the same banking as Daytona because I believe Daytona is 31 degrees, but they're both 40 feet wide, so there's not a ton of room to go three wide. But in that respect, at least as far as like how many lanes people are going to be working on, that'll be pretty similar. But not really seeing much of anything other than that bottom lane. Eric Laurie's just kind of clicking off laps led here, and everyone's just kind of settling in and waiting for something to happen. I think more after the first or second pit stop. Probably the first. If they can go 37 laps, they can go the whole way. But I think they're going to have to stop twice. But we'll have to wait and see what those fuel numbers look like.
Yeah, I'm watching lap times between that Gael's pack where he's at. They're about 3/10 off per lap compared to that big group pack of cars, the lead pack.
Yeah, and you can see on our ticker there, they're now about 7.5 seconds behind the rest of the pack. Bring back the tower here so you can see all the drivers at once. I see Edwin Outlaw, the only car 1 lap down right now, but most of the pack, the top 10 here, about 2 seconds behind the leader here. And then we got that second pack of Gilray, Brooks, and Briggs as well. And yeah, just kind of 1/3 of the way through the race, almost. Working on lap number 24 here, just calm, quiet, and maybe a big moment there for the number 12 of Edwin Outlaws. He went a lap down, but thankfully able to get out of the way of the leaders and then collect the spin in turn number 2. But that's really been just about all the action that we've seen so far. I mean, other than just seeing some guys get a little bit of loose on that outside lane and that wall come out to grab them, but yeah, it's been a quiet day so far.
Looks like Gael's pack is starting to pick up a little bit of speed since they pick up that little Edwin on the back of the tailgate there. Just almost about mirroring the same lap times. Almost. Just about 10th off.
Yeah, it's interesting actually. Nick Manfredi, Robert Jordan, and Bud Steele are actually they must have I don't know if they had a moment here where they kind of got clicked, but they did ran a fairly slow. They're running about a second behind the rest of the pack right now, so not sure if they're just trying to save fuel together or what.
Yeah,
You,
they need to get organized
I know
because
that's what I was just gonna say.
they're racing each other. I mean, it's if they want to catch up to the pack, they have got to work together. And yes, you see right now they are not really working together.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely the 10 and the 74 trying to run side by side is not going to bode well for them to catch up to that front pack. So apologies, don't have a great way to go back and see if there was a moment there, but might have been a bobble from one of these guys or someone in front of them that caused them to go towards the back. But now you can see that gap all the way down the backstretch that they have to our leaders. They're working about 3.5, 4 seconds behind. I do also want to mention we got Kevin Freese chiming in, saying that the right front tire wear is very huge here. Throttle management is very important. Yeah, definitely makes sense here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Exciting to see, as we mentioned, this new style of 1.5 mile super speedway racing that we have here. Kevin was our winner from last week, so unfortunate not to see you in the car tonight, but we appreciate you at least chiming in on the broadcast. Always love all our viewers and everyone who's willing to post a comment or say hi. Let us know where you're from, where you're watching, who you're rooting on. Whether you've been here for forever or this is your first time tuning in, we appreciate you guys watching, and this is exactly why we do this broadcasting stuff, right, Matt?
Yeah, I'm looking at some of these other guys. It looks like tire wear is kind of taking effect on some of these guys who are pushing really hard too early, and it's really starting to bite them. I think that's what's happened to Bud Steele, Robert Jordan, and Nick Manfredi here.
Oh, as actually see, it looks like Seth Groover is actually coming down onto pit lane here for his first scheduled stop.
Oh, that's
He's going to be
he's
all by
running
himself.
solo
Yeah, he's going to be all
by
by
himself.
himself. The rest of the
That's
field,
really gonna hurt him.
yeah.
I think he's out of fuel. No, he's not. He's shaking the car back and forth.
It looks like he's okay. Our number 2 qualifier there coming to his stop. See if anybody else answers the call here on lap number 30. If anyone's going to pit this time, it doesn't look like it. So we've got this front pack still broken away here of Eric Laurie,
He's
Gabe
going to take
Butler.
right sides in fuel.
Okay.
Interesting call
All right.
by Mr. Groover.
I mean, yeah, if the right front's the only one you're wearing out, might be a good call. Could save him some time on pit road compared to everybody else, but I'm sure some of the other guys who have teammates out in the pack are going to be trying to coordinate that schedule. See if they can take the same amount of fuel and tires. Go ahead.
We got a lot of pitters just coming by. I just heard chime on the radio.
Okay. So this time by, we've got a couple. Actually, it looks like, Derek Gilray, Edwin Outlaw coming in this time by. Got a couple more probably coming in this time. Got a couple more people chiming in now. We got Muff Duff rooting for our friend Gael Brooks. We're rooting for him too, so we're right there with you. And Karen Groover, thank you for chiming in. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that's the mom of Seth Groover. If I'm mistaken, I apologize.
Yep, is
but,
that Mama Groover?
Yeah. So
she's one of our favorites.
Yeah, appreciate you chiming in to watch your son here, Seth. Oh, we got a. Oh, okay. Lots of smoke from. Not a caution, sorry. A lot of smoke from the pit entrance here. Looks like that whole front pack is coming in. Eric Laurie, Gabe Butler, Zach Workman, Nick Manfredi. Looks like Gael Brooks is in this time too. See if we can see how things shake out.
Some of these guys who are taking 2 or 4 tires. I'm just quite interested to see.
Yeah, it looks like Richard Sanchez and Ryan Decker are in this time by, but Jim Brooks had to stay out all by himself.
Right.
Bud Steele and Brandon Briggs are both coming in this time, so getting service for those guys. Have to see how it all shakes out, unfortunately. So Jim Brooks is going to be left by himself. He's going to pick up Edwin Outlaw, it looks like, or potentially have enough to pass him, so he's going to get around him. But Jim is currently scored as your leader with 34 laps to go, and he's going to come in this time by. Might shake out to where he's a little bit further behind the pack, but let's see if we can pick up Seth Groover, who actually looks like he may have inherited the lead, as he's now ahead of Zachary Workman, Gabe Butler, and Eric Laurie. Ryan Decker is coming out of the pits now, it looks like, onto the backstretch. So we'll see if Zachary Workman and Seth Groover looks like they are going to be able to have enough steam through turn number 2 to get on down the backstretch and have a run to get ahead of them. But this is going to be your lead pack now here, as that 18 of Zachary Workman finds his way to the lead with the 88 of Gabe Butler and Eric Laurie behind them. And it actually looks like Ryan Decker actually got out quite a bit further ahead than these guys than I expected. And even Jim Brooks, he's actually leaving pit lane right now, as you see. So Ryan Decker is probably going to pass him in just a moment. And it looks like Ryan's going to be kind of a sitting duck as that leader, even though he had a really great pit stop. He's by himself, and you can see the pack of leaders behind him that are eventually going to catch him, unless him and Jim can start working together here a little bit. But it doesn't look like Jim's up to speed just yet.
Interesting call. I've seen a lot of 2-tire stops and 4-tire stops.
Yeah,
Gael took 2 tires.
A little bit of a mixed bag. Gael took
And
2
your
tires.
leaders, your
Jim
yeah,
took
your
no tires. He took, I would assume, only fuel at 9.3 seconds on his pit stop. So,
wow, that's really
yeah.
gonna hurt him.
So we'll see. Maybe he did that because he came down by himself, but now you're going to see Zachary Workman on the inside. He's going to take that spot second away. He's actually going to take the lead. He's going to jump from the bottom to the outside. The 88 is probably going to follow suit. They had a lot more momentum than the leaders did. So Workman going to inherit the lead as he passes the 61 and the 51 machines of Ryan Decker and Jim Brooks. Kevin Freese also mentioning in the chat they do have to lift on entry and get some clean air going into the turn. So not quite full throttle here at Atlanta, but fairly close, at least a lot more than it used to be with the old pavement, the old pave, the 24-degree banking that they had. But so far it's been, I mean, it's been kind of quiet, but it's still kind of cool to see these guys feel
Yeah.
this track out and figure it out. Most of these guys would have been involved in some of the off-season testing events that we had here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, though it's definitely a different feeling, and nothing quite replicates the real deal when you're actually racing for points in a league setting.
As you can tell, I'm really looking at this second pack here. That no tire call of Jim Brooks, it's really gonna hurt him. I noticed his car is just really washing up the racetrack, and he's probably gonna fall off the pace.
Yeah, we'll see here. He was about 2/10 slower than our leaders that last lap. Thankfully, he still has the draft for now, but if handling goes away on that car, he's definitely not going to be able to put that car where he wants to, as we actually see Seth Groover's trying to sneak a peek on that outside line, get something going there on the outside of that 071 machine. Trying to do something, but that bottom lane's really been pretty dominant so far tonight.
Yeah, it sure is. But like I said, maybe it's a fuel thing. I have no idea.
Yeah, we will see. So now we're working on lap number 40. Going to be coming to lap number 41, just over halfway here now. We'll take a second and go through the field. Not a huge field here tonight, but we've got Zachary Workman currently leading that field with Gabe Butler just behind him, Ryan Decker, Eric Laurie, and Seth Groover rounding out your top 5 so far as they run. Jim Brooks, the last guy in this lead pack here, as you see a lap car jumping to the bottom of the track. That's Edwin Outlaw, but picking up, that was Jim Brooks in the 6th position. Nick Monfretti here in this second pack. They're about 10 seconds behind our leaders. So Nick is in the 7th position with Gael Brooks just behind him and Bud Steele a couple cars back. This is kind of that second pack on the track. We do have Robert Jordan all by himself here in 10th place. He is about 18 seconds behind our leaders and about 7 seconds behind the pack in front of him. And then we got a little bit of a mixed bag as we got Brandon Briggs here by himself, or just in front of the leader. So he's about to get lapped, actually. So he's sitting in the 11th position. So he will now be our first car 1 lap down. And Derek Gilray, who's just behind our lead pack, is sitting in 12th. He's the second car 1 lap down. Richard Sanchez is in that second pack with Gael, Nick Monfretti, and Bud Steele. And then we just saw Edwin Outlaw also going down a lap, 2 laps down now. So he's just behind Jim, and looks like Jim has definitely fallen off quite a bit, the pace as far as, look at how much his car is, it doesn't look like he's got a lot of handling left in that thing.
Yeah, he don't have much tire left. I would have took tires, and if he would have took right sides, it would have been okay. See Seth Groover, he's one of our guys who took right sides in fuel, and he's hanging on pretty tough. Jim has really fallen off the pace here.
Yeah, so as it sits right now, Zachary Workman took 4 tires, Gabe Butler took 4, Ryan Decker in 3rd place did take 2, Eric Laurie took 4, and Seth took 2. Jim took fuel only, so that's why we see him dropping off so much. He is almost, last lap he was a second and a half slower than the leaders and about a second slower than just about anybody else on track without any handling. And then throughout the rest of the field, kind of a mixed bag of either 2 tires or 4 tires. But tires definitely becoming a concern so far. Do you think someone who has taken 2 tires on that pit stop, do you think they're going to be able to have enough to try and make a move towards the end? Is that the race-winning move you think to save time on pit road, but not have enough to be able to put the car where you want?
Well, they put it on lap 33. They do have to save at least one, maybe two extra laps on fuel, if I'm correct. It's really gonna. These guys are gonna have to save that sometime.
Yeah, I think so. I think they'll do one more stop because 33 will take us to lap 66, so they'll be about 9 laps shy. But so I think we're expecting one more stop. But I assume you're saying that 4 tires is going to be the way to go though on this final stop.
Oh yeah, 100%.
We'll have to wait and see, as it looks like Nick Manfredi and Bud Steele, locking up just a little bit, getting to speed before the commitment cone. Hopefully they didn't get any pit penalties, but Bud Steele there in the 10 and the 29 of Nick Manfredi getting what should be their final service of the race. As they get lapped by our leaders here, we'll pick back up Zachary Workman. Oh, Jim Brooks is actually in this time.
Yeah, some takers on pit road here.
Coming by all by himself, Jim Brooks is. Anybody else coming down? I don't think so. That's it for now. So Jim Brooks, Nick Manfredi, and Bud Steele are actually done with their service. Oh, Bud Steele looks like he got to stop and hold. Oh, but
yeah, a little speeding on pit road there.
So it was Nick that was the one that actually, Nick is out and away. It was actually Bud Steele that was that didn't get in hot, but Bud Steele must have been speeding at some point. So he'll sit and think about what he did, as Edwin Outlaw is also coming down to pit road to get his final service of the race. Zachary Workman, Gabe Butler, Ryan Decker, and Eric Laurie still leading that 4-pack of cars at the front of the field. And Seth Groover actually dropped off just a little bit. Not sure if he had some issues or if he's coming down to pit road, but maybe it's just the handling of the 2 tires. Not sure, but he's actually about 7 seconds off of our leaders now, where last lap he was 4 seconds slower than the rest of the pack, so he must have had a bit of an issue there, getting loose or whatnot. Not sure, but definitely some traffic for our leaders, though.
Way up the racetrack by lap 46, and it really cost him the draft. That the price of taking 2 tires, I really starting to take effect of some of these guys.
The only one that's been able to manage to do it effectively so far has been Ryan Decker, because he was able to get out ahead of our leaders, and he's been able to apparently save enough to stick with the leaders and not fall off pace-wise. But definitely, I mean, this. Go ahead.
Yeah, he was one of the guys who was last in the pack, and he wasn't really burning up his equipment as much, and it looks like it's really paying off for him.
Yeah, so far so good as we approach 24 laps to go this time by. About a third of the race to go. Definitely a few drivers that still haven't pitted yet, as looks like Seth Groover is actually going to prove me wrong. He gets a little sideways on that pit entry, but hopefully he gets down to speed in time. No speeding on pit road, no 40-second stop and hold for him, hopefully. He's all by himself, so he'll have to probably find someone to maybe help draft with at some point. It looks like the lead pack's actually grown quite a bit. There's only 4 cars here on the lead lap, but we've got Zachary Workman, Gabe Butler, Ryan Decker, and Eric Laurie here, the top 4. And you got the 10 of Bud Steele. Looks like the 85 of Derek Gilray. And then there's one more. I can't quite. Is it the 74 car of Robert Jordan? It is. So 74 of Robert Jordan. So Robert Jordan's actually in 6th place right now, 1 lap down. So the the top 4 are in this front of this pack. He's 1 lap down in 6th place, and Gael Brooks is actually in 5th, about 15 seconds off the pace. But he's got Richard Sanchez with him.
Yeah. I think I was in the fuel saving mode, as you would say.
It looks like he's trying to maybe stretch it, but so Zachary Workman, Gabe Butler, Ryan Decker, Eric Laurie, Gael Brooks, Robert Jordan, and Richard Sanchez have not pit a second time yet. As we see Brandon Briggs, he actually came down pit road and is making his final stop. Edwin Outlaw is sitting on pit road for a little while here, so I'm assuming that he did get a speeding penalty or a unsafe entry to pit lane. We got even one more car now here in this front pack. So, oh no, excuse me, that is still 7 cars or 8 cars? I can't do math. Math is hard. We've got eight cars up here now, so there is one more lap car that this lead pack has picked up, and it's the 29 of Nick Bonfreddi. There he is, right there. He's on that outside lane.
I'm looking at the lap times. They have fallen about 4/10 of what they've been running now. So tire wear is becoming a factor right now.
Yeah, they're about a second off. Just about everybody's about a second off of their best laps of the race. So definitely not as much tire wear as you might see at a normal 1.5 mile, but a lot more, probably just because of the sheer speed of how fast they really are going at such a small track.
Oh, we have some takers on pit road coming. Your leaders are heading in this time.
All right, we're going to watch. Zachary Workman should be leading the rest of the field down pit road. So you get a good camera angle of that. So Ryan Decker's going to stay out, but Gabe Butler and Eric Laurie are coming in with them.
They're not. They were. Thought they were.
So Zachary Workman, Gabe Butler, and Eric Laurie are down this time, and as well as Robert Jordan. And Ryan Decker's actually out here by himself, so he's actually the only car on the lead lap in this pack here, but thankfully he's got drafting help. So he's kind of doing his own thing. He was the only one to really successfully take 2 tires in that first stop, and now he's the only one staying out, and thankfully he's got enough cars to draft with, but I would assume at some point Gabe Butler, Eric Laurie, and Zachary Workman, that front pack, probably going to catch up with him, but we'll have to see. We've actually seen also Gael Brooks is actually jumping into that second position, trying to see if he can maybe wait for a caution to see if something happened, see if he can inherit that lead, as it looks like just about everyone else has caught 1 lap down now from Gabe Butler in third on back. But we'll pick back up with our leader, Ryan Decker. Doesn't look like he's going to answer the call anytime soon. He's just going to kind of stay in there. And
yeah, he's in ultimate save mode. I've raced with Gael plenty of times before, and the first thing he thinks is fuel mileage.
Yeah, so we'll see. Unless, I mean, the drivers who did pit for fuel and tires, they're all pretty much, I mean, they're about a lap behind our leaders. Gael is about a half a lap behind him. If Ryan Decker and Gael Brooks don't need to or can save enough fuel to go the rest of the way, I would think that they'd be in a pretty decent position. I mean, Gael only went, no, I apologize. They're definitely going to have to pit one more time because Gael pit on lap 32. So, yeah, he's definitely going to have to pit with about 10 to go. But I think they're just kind of waiting out that yellow flag to see if it were to fall. But Ryan Decker, again, still inheriting our race lead, racing.
If I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But if he makes it to lap, I say about 66. If he does. I'm not saying he will. I think it's going to be his ultimatum. I think he's going to make it on fuel.
Yeah, we will see. I'm guessing he's going to have to pit at least once more, but one guy that is pitting for the last time is Ryan Decker in the 61 machine. We see him grabbing services now. This does inherit the lead to our friend Gael Brooks, and he's just kind of hanging out here behind Richard Sanchez, and let's see if we can grab some mid-race strategy from Gael here.
Oh, you really?
Hopefully we can not disturb him too much. But Gael, do you think you can make it the rest of the way on fuel?
Oh no, definitely not. I got to pit in about 2 more laps, but I figure might as well get a lap lead and maybe hope for an untimely yellow, but a very timely yellow for me. Yeah, unfortunately, I'd say the smaller field plus the losing the draft off the bat there with the little checkup really kind of bit me. So just trying to make the best of a bad situation, unfortunately.
All right, buddy. Well, good luck, and we won't disturb you too much as you're going to be pitting here in a couple laps, but thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, man. Go guys.
Yeah, thanks. We're in the broadcast. we don't need luck when we're racing. But.
Now I'm curious if he can get to 66, that's going to be his magic number. We're on 64 now.
Yeah, he's going to have to pit. I think he said when we first grabbed him, he said 2 more laps, so I would think that he's coming in this time by, but not probably going to get that yellow that he hoped, but he's just kind of hanging out here with Richard Sanchez. Richard has not pitted either He's 1 lap behind Gael, but they are currently 1st and 6th as we do
Oh,
see.
he almost made it one more lap.
Yep, so we see Gael coming down this time by. Hit your marks, buddy. Don't speed. And that will inherit the lead back to Ryan Decker, who's still coming off a pit road here. He's going to probably get swallowed up by this 88 of Gabe Butler. We're going to watch that. They're going to have enough steam to go around him on the outside. So the 88 now in control of this race with Zachary Workman behind him. Gabe's teammate of Eric Laurie will inherit 3rd. And then, Ryan Decker will be in 4th place. And then Gaia will be about a half a lap back. So it looks like, so we've only got a 4-horse race here for the finish. And, Ryan Decker didn't take tires. He only took fuel that time by. Yeah, so
Gael took 0 tires.
So Gabe, Zachary Workman, and Eric Laurie here are the only ones. They're the only ones in the field who took tires here on this final pit stop. It definitely seems like it's making a huge difference, though.
It is.
Yeah.
It's when it comes down to it toward the end of the race, you're really going to see who has tires and who does not.
Yeah.
And it's really going to affect the performance of the car. They're going to try and make a run at it, but we'll see.
So Robert Jordan does have pace with the leaders here. He is 1 lap down. He's the first car 1 lap down right now. And he actually didn't take tires either, so it can be done. We did see the 61 of Ryan Decker do it for a while, but I don't see how. And he hasn't stopped for tires. He took 2 tires on that first pit stop, and that's it. That's all he's used all race long. So you can definitely see Gabe Butler, Zachary Workman, and Eric Laurie are just kind of sailing off into the sunset as they've got about a 3.5-second gap back to Ryan now. So this is really going to be a 3-horse race here, and Robert Jordan's just kind of hanging on for being the first car 1 lap down. But we're working with 8 laps to go. There really isn't much to do here other than watch these guys with tires just see how it plays out. And,
do it away.
And 2 teammates and two teammates in Gabe Butler and Eric Laurie maybe try to team up against Zachary to try and see if they can get Team Bootnaka a win. But who knows? Maybe Zachary has something up his sleeve as well to try and turn the 2 teammates against each other.
That's my pick.
That's your pick. That was your pick from the very beginning, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
That was a good pick.
We'll see. You got many laps to go, so we got about 23 to go. So we'll see what happens here.
Should be about 7 laps to go according to the ticker, unless my ticker is incorrect.
Whoop. I'm sorry. Incorrect. I apologize.
Okay, no worries. So we do have about 7 laps to go here then. So Gabe Butler still leading the pack. Zachary Workman in 2nd. We'll take a second here just to go through the field. We do have Ryan Decker here. He's kind of all by himself, kind of fading without taking any tires on that second pit stop. He's about 8 seconds back or so from our leaders. Gael Brooks is about 20 seconds behind our leaders, 18 or so. And go ahead. What'd you see?
I was sorry. It was a move to the inside. It looked like Zach was trying to figure out how the way to get around. Gabe Butler was trying to use the lap car as a pick.
Got another lap car coming up here, and honestly, with 5 to go, we'll probably just abandon that whole through the field thing, and we'll just focus here on this. Yeah,
6
definitely.
to go here.
Excuse my rust running the broadcaster putting the
you're
broadcaster
all right.
hat on, but so we got 5 laps to go here. Gabe Butler. We just saw the 0-2 of Seth Groover there. He's now in 9th place. He's going to be the first car 1 lap down. We won't still go back to him, but we'll run through it at least. Gael Brooks is sitting in 5th. Jim Brooks is in 6th behind him and Nick Manfredi. So Jim and Nick in the same pack, about 25 seconds off the lead. Robert Jordan and Seth Groover now in this lead pack, but they are 1 lap down. Richard Sanchez about 50 seconds, so almost 2 laps down. Bud Steele 55 seconds off the pack, and then Brandon Briggs, Derek Gilray, and Edwin Outlaw 2 and 6 laps respectively down from the leaders. But we've got 3 laps to go here. We're just going to focus on this and see if we can watch these guys go to work, see if that 18 car has anything for that 88 in front of him, and maybe if Eric Laurie can bounce around his teammate and that 18 to try and steal a win for himself. But we're going to have to wait and see.
It's going to be very difficult because teammate of Gabe Butler is right behind Zach Workman. And It's gonna be really difficult to try and attempt to make a move. Either he can slide back and try and use Seth Groover as a drafting buddy, but it's kind of too late for that. Possibly.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Definitely doesn't help that the teammates are separated, but we've got 2 laps to go this time by. We're going to be coming to the white flag. Gabe Butler's just kind of sitting there by himself. He doesn't really have much. The 18 really hasn't had much for him yet, but the 18 does have a run here coming down the front straightaway. See if he can do something here. White flag is out.
2 to go.
I'm showing the white flag.
Are you showing the white flag?
Yeah, I'm showing a white flag. This is the final lap, so the 88 machine down the backstretch. The 18 is going to try and duck. Try and make a move. Not really. He doesn't really have enough momentum. He's just kind of all over the back bumper of that 88 machine. He's really not going to have much of a run. It looks like the 88 is going to probably get away with it unless the 18 can come off of the final corner here.
No, it's not going to happen.
Looks like it is. That's it.
Wow.
That'll
what a
be
win
it.
by Gabe. That's
88 car takes it.
That's
Man, tires
pretty
really
much
made
the back-to-back. Yeah.
tires made a huge difference tonight, didn't they?
Yes, sure did. Wow.
That was great.
4 tires made all the difference in the world.
Yeah, I mean, we saw how much. So Ryan Decker actually finished 16 seconds off of our leaders, and Gael finished 22 seconds. Granted, Gael was about 15 seconds back when he did pit, or before the leaders kind of pit before him. But Ryan Decker was right with those leaders, and Gabe Butler, Zachary Workman, and Eric Laurie were the ones who took tires. And I mean, I think that's, we'll interview these guys here in just a second, but I think that's going to be the biggest key to this race was those guys taking those tires. We see Gabe Butler now coming around the field. Looks like he's probably going to do a bit of a burnout here on the front stretch. I would expect a little bit of celebration here as, yeah, a good finish to our first race here in official league action at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Through the grass, it's going to be Gabe Butler celebrating his first win of the season.
Yeah, it's amazing. This is the first time our Atlanta knew it's first time here, so
yeah,
it was totally out of the ordinary. We're used to running Daytona, Talladega. Now here at the brand new Atlanta.
Yeah, definitely exciting. And if you thought this was an exciting one, in 2 weeks we're actually going to be going to iRacing Super Speedway as well, a fictional track.
Man, yeah,
that one's going to be just as exciting as tonight was. I definitely think there wasn't a lot of action, but shorter field. Sometimes you get that, but I mean, we definitely saw a lot of strategy, if not action, and there's something to learn. I think these guys are going to have to put something in their setup book for the next time we come back here. We come back here 2 more times this season, once more in the regular season and once more in the playoffs. So definitely some notes to take home from this first race here at Atlanta Motor Speedway in Area 51.
Yeah, these guys have a couple of races on their belts, and now they know what this car is going to do and what it's capable of, and try to avoid those mistakes. And like I said, they'll learn from it.
Definitely. All right, well, we're going to take a second here now. We're going to do some interviewing. We got some guys that we want to talk to. We got some teammates doing dual burnouts on the front stretch here. One of those guys is actually the 071 of Eric Laurie, which we're going to grab in just a second here. He was our 3rd place finisher, so actually we'll bring him up to the broadcast booth now. That is the number 071 machine of Eric Laurie, taking home the 3rd place finish tonight. How did it feel tonight at the first race here in Atlanta?
Felt good. Didn't have too much trouble tonight. Car run pretty good. Get a little wear in the tires a little bit, pushes a little bit in the corner, but just a lot of fun running, having fun.
Yeah. So my next question is, I was just curious of what would be the outcome if Zach Workman would have aligned. I know Gabe Butler's your teammate, and you probably would have stuck with Gabe, wouldn't you have?
Yes, I would have to.
I kind of figured that loyalty would stick with you guys. But you never know. This was tires the issue here?
Oh yes, tires made it where we could run. We watched the other ones just take 2 tires, and they just kept falling back on us.
Yeah, did you expect that many people to not try and take 4 tires? Because at the end of the race, I don't know if you realize, you may, but Gabe Butler, Zach, and yourself were the only 3 that took 4 tires on the final pit stop. Did you expect that at all?
No, I did not expect that at all. I figured there was a lot of people just take 4 tires and just keep on going with it. But I'm surprised that we're the only ones that did it.
Yeah, definitely did not expect to see that few drivers try and make that call, but it was definitely exciting to see, and glad you guys got a podium finish after that first race here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Do you want to give any thanks and shout outs for that podium placing you had tonight, Eric?
Well, shout outs to my team, Gabe and Zach, for making a good run at it tonight. You guys for doing what you do, and Area 51. It's been a blast running with them.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Eric. We definitely wish you the best of luck going forward with the rest of the season, and congratulations once again for tonight.
Thank you.
All right, that is Eric Laurie, driver of the 071 machine. That was 3rd place, our podium, running on our podium placings tonight, as we got another driver in Zach Workman that we'll bring up here. 2nd place finisher in that 18 machine. This was Zach was actually Matt's pick from the broadcast for you to win one here. Definitely a great chance. I mean, you guys put yourself in position with the strategy as far as you and the other, Gabe Butler and Eric Laurie, the Team Bootnaka guys. But take us through the first race at Atlanta Motor Speedway in Area 51 Next Gen Series.
Tires really mattered. A lot of tire fall off, especially on the right front. The first run we were kind of pushing, so I knew that we need 4 tires, and we just took 4 tires the whole way and just made up the time that we lost. I think the 4th place guy only took 2, and we're out by 16 seconds on him with the 4 tires. So tires really matter here. I was just following Gabe and Eric because I really don't have a lot of experience here with the Next Gen and Atlanta, and we're all running in the same team Discord channel, and I was thinking about going around Gabe. I know he wins a lot over here, but I don't know. I just rode in line and took my P2.
Yeah, that's my next question. So I know Eric is gonna stick with Gabe, his loyalty up. Do you think if you probably would have slid back, probably about 4 or 5 laps to go? I know Seth Gruber is there, and he probably would have pushed it. Do you have any regrets doing that?
Not really. It's just fun being out here with Gabe and Eric. I ran a lot with them in other series and stuff, so I'm just staying in line there. If it was definitely someone else that did not have the 88 on it, or I was not running with them, I would have went for it. But just stayed in line, just got the 1, 2, 3 for the team. That was pretty much it. Call me a wimp, but yeah.
Yeah, I apologize. I didn't realize that you were working with the Team Bootnaka guys, so it makes sense. I know that team, as far as the team goes, they're probably one of the the most unified teams here in Area 51. As far as strategy, and when someone's leading,
Yeah,
they just kind of push that
100%.
guy to the win and let it happen however it falls. But you guys definitely won the strategy tonight and had a pretty good chance. Obviously, no, you weren't going to really try anything, but had a pretty good easy run to the rest of the end there. So. Want to say congrats for that, and want to give you a chance to give any thanks and shout outs for that 2nd place finish tonight, Zach.
Yeah, thank you. Well, on the strategy side, I don't do any of the strategy. I just follow. I'm not smart enough to do any of that strategy stuff. So I'm like, tell me what to do, and I just click it. So, but I want to shout out my parents. They always watch one of these. This was a pretty quick race, so in and out. Can do like 4 more of these. Got to shout out my girlfriend for also watching the race. Pretty quick race. You guys in the broadcast booth. And then Gael for racing with us. We don't really race with Gael, and it's nice to see him out there. But Yeah, thank you guys for broadcasting this.
Yeah, no problem, Zach, and congratulations once again, and appreciate you sharing the word with your family and your girlfriend. Have them out here and watching our broadcast. Hopefully they enjoyed the show tonight, and we're cheering you on. Always appreciate everyone who does chime in on the broadcasts, and want to say thanks again for racing tonight, and congrats on that second place finish, Zach.
Yeah, I'm gonna get them rigged so then we could have like a full car count next week.
There you
with all
go.
the people.
There you go. Yeah, I know. So I'll be running I'll be running most of the Sunday night broadcasts. So I think that's going to free up Kyle to run with you guys a little bit more often. So hopefully you'll see him more out on track. But yeah, appreciate it, and congrats again, Zach.
Good luck with Matt this season. He's a real prick, that Matt guy.
Hey, we try to keep it somewhat PG-13
I
here.
beat you on Friday there, buddy.
I was damaged. Okay, I was like, let my good buddy Matt, get this nice 7th place. I don't need this 7th.
Hey, every point matters, buddy. Every point matters.
For sure, buddy.
All right, so nobody warned me that you guys were friends ahead of time, so I'll have to put that in my back pocket for next time. But thanks again,
Friends
Zach.
is a loose term. Friends is a really loose term.
All right.
All right, good deal. All right, well, we will get to our winner from the evening. That would be the number 88 of Gabe Butler.
Technically, this is back-to-back wins for Mr. Gabe Butler.
Oh yeah. So did he? I didn't realize. Did he miss the first race of the season then?
Nope. He won the Truck Series race on Thursday.
Okay. That's okay. Okay. Well, definitely not any shocker to be interviewing you once again, Gabe. But I mean, you guys, as usual, dominated the strategy and had the plan. And I mean, yeah, there's not a ton else to say. I mean, I'll let you say it. How did tonight go for you guys?
As a team and the guys I was running with tonight with Zach, Eric, and Richard went pretty well. Richard got a speeding penalty, so he kind of got unlucky with that. But I'm just surprised I was able to finish the race, being that I was driving a Ford. But I won't say anything.
I was gonna say, we mentioned that earlier in the broadcast. You are obviously so dedicated to winning that you would drive a manufacturer that you may not prefer. So I appreciate that dedication. That's a true racer right there.
Yeah, well, I mean, these Fords, not that it's super important here at Atlanta, they actually push a lot better because they have a flat nose and a flat rear bumper versus the Chevy's kind of a little bit pointed, and it's kind of hard to push somebody no matter what they're driving. So I'll just do it for NextGen. You won't catch me in it and anything else.
Well, as a Ford fan myself, I appreciate that, but I can respect your dedication to Chevy and the other leagues. But did you guys have this strategy planned out? Did you know that it was going to be, tires were going to be this important? I mean, obviously it seemed like you did because you were the only ones who tried it. But did you know that coming into this race was going to be the key?
A little bit, but just to confirm it, I think most of us did full fuel runs and looked at the tire wear, and it was pretty harsh, but it was even all the way around, which meant taking 4 was the way to go. Maybe if there wasn't as many laps left and it was a caution or something and it was a long run, maybe take a chance on right sides only. But we figured we'd be turns out we were a couple of seconds faster when we took 4. So we would have been able to catch people that didn't take tires or just took rights. I think Ryan, I don't know if he took any at all, but when we caught him, we dropped him really fast. I mean, yeah. I think he lost his altogether. I'm not sure what he did on tires, but I don't think he took all 4.
Yeah, so he took 2 right side tires on the first pit stop, it looked like, and then he didn't take any on the final stop. And you guys, you guys were right around him, and he finished 16 seconds back by the end of the race. So you guys, in basically a half of a fuel run almost for the last fuel run there, you guys gapped him by 16 seconds.
Yeah, we were discussing when to pit, and we figured, well, if people take a chance and go with 2 or none, if we pit like with 18 or 19 to go, we should be able to track them down pretty easily with 4 tires, and I think that worked out pretty good for us.
Yeah, definitely. like I said, you guys really had the handle on the strategy, and we're pretty much the only ones to know what you needed going in. I think a lot of teams are going to be looking at your strategy, your setup book, and saying, I need to maybe think about that for the next time we're here. But yeah, definitely a great effort tonight. I guess, Matt, anything you want to ask Gabe?
No, you pretty much summed it up there.
Right.
He's just a winning machine. What else you gotta say?
And in a Ford.
And in a Ford.
And in a Ford, I know it kind of tears him, but we're gonna pick on him for like the next couple of weeks here, just because he's driving a Ford.
Yeah.
Hey, that's fine.
Hey man, I got no problem with it personally, and like I said, it's dedication as a racer to winning. So definitely great to see that, and want to congratulate you on that first place finish, your first win of the season. So any thanks or shout outs you want to give for that win tonight for Team Bootnaka?
Yeah, well, just thank the teammates again. Pit strategy worked great. Tire strategy worked fantastic, and we were able to stick together. Like I said, Richard just got a little bit unlucky there at the speeding penalty, or I'm sure he would have been up there with us. Area 51 for allowing us to try out these next gens this season. Hopefully, we'll get some more bodies in here. It's a challenge. It's a learning curve. It's a different animal, and that should fire some guys up that like a challenge. And of course, you guys at Green and White Checker TV for doing a great broadcast as usual. I always look forward to watching it later.
Yeah, thanks, Gabe. We appreciate it, and congratulations to you once again. One of many interviews that we've given you over the years here at Green White Checker TV. So, congratulations to you and your team tonight, and we'll see you next week.
All right, gentlemen. Thanks a bunch. Have a good one.
Careful, man.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that was the race winning in a Ford, Gabe Butler, number 88 machine. Definitely, like I said, love the dedication to his racecraft. And I don't think you'll find a lot of guys that are as dedicated as these guys come, or as organized on race day. So it's really cool to see what they can do as a team, and I'm sure we'll see quite a bit of others get their chance to shine in the spotlight. I mean, we still got a long ways to go before playoffs. I said it again there, but definitely a fun race so far tonight, and we're definitely looking forward to the rest of them, Matt.
Yeah, they got a lot of different tracks, and like I said, these guys got a couple of races in their belt, and they should know how these cars handle. And a little bit of practice, that I think these guys should be doing just fine.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll see. Next week we will be at the Talladega Super Speedway. So it'll be a little bit of normalcy going back to a track that we're normally at, even if we do have a different car this season. And then in 2 weeks' time, we'll be at the iRacing Super Speedway. So that fictional 3-mile oval that I am personally extremely excited for.
Mm-hmm.
I remember being a kid and racing on that in NASCAR 2003. The fictional track that at the time the company called Papyrus, which eventually became iRacing, made. So fictional track, but it's going to be a lot of fun to see those guys wheeling around there. But we got to get through Talladega first, and then we'll get to iRacing Super Speedway in 2 weeks' time. But before we go any further and before we sign off, we are going to go through our results for the evening. Obviously, we already talked to our top three: Gabe Butler, Zachary Workman, and Eric Laurie, the teammates who were able to work together and get that sweep of the podium. Ryan Decker didn't take tires on that last stop and just couldn't hang with the pace, and eventually fell to about 16 seconds back. And Gael tried valiantly to hang on as well after taking no tires on the final stop, but ended up 22 seconds off the lead to round out our top five. His dad, Jim Brooks, in sixth place, just behind him, with Nick Manfredi, Robert Jordan, Seth Groover, and Richard Sanchez rounding out the top 10. Bud Steele, Brandon Briggs, Derek Gilray, and Edwin Outlaw round out the field for the evening. A little bit of a short field tonight, but like as Gabe said, we're hoping to get a few more in here on Sunday nights. Definitely a little bit of a challenge with this NextGen car. A little bit different style of speedway racing, super speedway racing that is, with these cars. But hopefully once more drivers get the hang of it, we'll have some more fun and Yeah, definitely appreciate you tagging along for the ride, Matt. It'll be a fun season. Should be, I would assume most weeks probably be you and I in the booth, so it'll be a great
Yes,
season
sir.
to have you here with me.
Oh, it's been my pleasure.
All right, well, for tonight, for Green White Checkered TV and Area 51, we will be signing off. Again, next week we'll be at the Talladega Super Speedway on Sunday night. Don't forget to tune into our other broadcast on Thursday nights. We race the Truck Series as well in the Super Speedway Series, and I believe they have the same, pretty much the same schedule as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, Matt, but they will be, believe they will be going to Daytona, Atlanta, Talladega, and iRacing Super Speedway as well. So they'll be a lot of fun to watch both these styles of cars at this Super Speedway game, and definitely going to be a little bit of a long way to go still in this season, but the first of 3 for 2023, and we're excited to see how they play out. All right, for myself, Boomer Logan, and for Matt Wagner, that will do it here tonight. Thanks again to everyone tuning in to the broadcast. We really appreciate all of our viewers and all of the guys in the cars that rewatch afterwards. Thank you so much for allowing us to do what we do. Obviously, without the league, we wouldn't be around either. So we definitely want to thank you as well. And that's about it for tonight. We appreciate you all. Have a great week, a safe week, and we will see you here on Thursday night.
Good night, everybody.